What's going on, guys? Welcome to another stream. It's been a few weeks since I've streamed last, but well, it's time to do another new Jedi Order stream. This will be the last stream of the year, so yeah. All right, yeah. Today it'll be we're talking Star by Star by Troy Denning and Dark Journey by Elaine Cunningham. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But before we get into that, there's just a couple of things I would like to say first. The first is that the channel is getting pretty close to at least partial monetization. It needs 3,000 watch hours, and we're at almost 2,600, so just a few hundred more watch hours. So yeah, if you could watch a video every day for the rest of December, that would be real nice. Just it doesn't matter, and you know, you don't have to watch it. You could just put it on in the background while you're doing some chores or whatever. It's fine. That would help a lot. Yeah, so and I think with that, we'll just get right into the discussion of the books. So first we'll do Star by Star, and yeah, I'll just begin. Star by Star is probably, no, it's not probably, it's my favorite NJO book, at least out of what I've read up until Dark Journey. So man, this book just fires on all cylinders, really. There's no, yeah, it really doesn't slow down. It just picks the pace up and steadily builds and builds till the end. There's a few, you know, there's a few times where it's almost overwhelming because things just keep happening and escalating and escalating and escalating. So getting into some of the details, the Voxen Queen mission, which is the mission to where the Jedi send basically a team to take out the Voxen Queen, and the Voxens are essentially these creatures that the Yuuzhan Vong are hunting Jedi with, and they're very effective. So it makes sense that they would want to go and take them out. So I believe it's 17 Jedi go on this mission. Of course, all 3 Solo children go because, you know, they have to be in the action. So yeah, it's just, yeah, in that mission, a lot goes down. Yeah, this book is very high stakes, and like I said earlier, it's non-stop action basically. Yeah, Anakin Solo in this book, well, he has to shine, as this is his last book where he is in, because, you know, spoilers, he dies. And yeah, well, I already knew that he died because I had, you know, I've heard spoilers for some things about the EU over the years in various videos and things like that, but yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know the like details and that, but yeah, it still was something that I didn't want happen because I like Anakin Solo. He's one of my favorite expanded universe characters, and it's a shame because, yeah, now I can't further flesh him out and follow him on other stories, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, Han and Leia's reaction to Anakin's death was pretty intense, and I think that was the sad part of the book, where it wasn't Anakin dying, it was other characters' reactions to it that I think, yeah, so it's Vong take over the capital of the New Republic, which, you know, really was more than likely just a matter of time at the rate the war was going. You know, Borsk Phalia has a, I guess you could call it an epic moment, but I don't know. I'm not a big Borsk fan, so there's that. But I guess, you know, he took out some Yuuzhan Vong, so that's good, but it cost the capital for that to happen, so I don't think it was worth it. But yeah, what else do we have? Oh, Lando's UVH droids. Not YVH droids. Yuuzhan Vong Hunter droids. These things are cool. Yeah, they're basically designed. They have a similar appearance to a Yuuzhan Vong, and yeah, they're just used to help hunt and take out Yuuzhan Vong. It's something that I really like, and I hope that they're well utilized in the rest of the series. Yeah, this book was, you know, it's a dark and very bold story. I mean, it killed off a fairly major character. Yeah, and that's what I like about New Jedi Order is things happen. There's stakes. It's not, oh no, the characters get captured, but they'll be fine because it always works out in the end. No, sometimes it isn't, and I think that just gives stories, you know, a little sense of realism and stakes. Yeah, some other things. Jaina using Force Lightning in this book, I wasn't a huge fan of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure using you can use Force Lightning, but to conjure true Force Lightning, you need to have experienced it. And yeah, I don't know. And you know, and this isn't the only instance where she uses Force Lightning, because she uses it again in Dark Journey, and I'm not a fan of Jedi using dark side powers like that. And I know she's struggling right now, but yeah, shouldn't be something that, yeah. Vicky Shesh, the senator from what's the planet called? Kuat. There we go. Yeah, and I know she's supposed to be kind of a scummy, yeah, but she's just, I don't get her motives, because the Yuuzhan Vong are just going to use Vicky for as long as they can use her, and then they'll just throw her away. So I don't see what she's going to get out of this, but that's not my problem. That's hers. And Vergeer, kind of confusing motivations, because she'll help, or like, you know, like when the Jedi are sneaking around the world ship where the Voxen Queen is kept, sometimes Vergeer will see them and she won't like alert. And then, yeah, at the end of the book, Jason gets captured, and well, partly in part due to Vergeer. So I'm just like, whose side is Vergeer on? And well, I think you have to count on Vergeer is on Vergeer's side. She's not on the Yuuzhan Vong side, and she's not on the Jedi side. She's doing whatever Vergeer wants to do for Vergeer. So yeah, but yeah, that's that book. It's, you know, this is a good book. It was a pretty thick book. It's definitely one of the longest books in terms of Star Wars with like page count. It's over 500 pages, and yeah, a lot happens. I can see why this book was long, you know, because it essentially told two like main plots that could have been separate novels, but it was combined into one. And and I think this was a pretty epic entry into the New Jedi Order, and I think this really had stakes and it was exciting. It was definitely not a boring read, which is good. But if we go on to Dark Journey, these two books are an interesting pair. But we'll get into that after we go into some detail about Dark Journey. The Dark Journey has a strong focus on Jaina. I would actually call it a Jaina book. So if you're a big fan of Jaina, this might be your favorite. But well, I don't dislike Jaina, but I'm kind of apathetic towards Jaina. So I wasn't a huge fan of that, unfortunately. Jagged Fell in this book was awesome, and where we were following Jagged Fell's point of view, I enjoyed that. Those were probably my favorite aspects of the book. I kind of like Jagged Fell. You got Kip Duran. I'm not a Kip Duran fan, but in this book, it's kind of funny because he's essentially trying to prevent Jaina from making mistakes like he did, falling to the dark side and killing a bunch of people, and basically making mistakes that realistically I don't know how you can come back from. Like realistically, like, you know, if you go blow up a planet, how do you apologize and make amends for that? So yeah, he kept Jaina from going on the precipice, which I think is good, and I think, yeah, so we'll see. And hopefully he gets tempered a little bit, and he's not like, oh, I have to be the Maverick Jedi that, oh, I gotta go fighting around and getting a bunch of Jedi and other people killed around me. So hopefully Kip will get tempered a little bit more in future books. Jaina manipulating other people, even her friends. There's one one part in the book where she messes with Lobaka's mind. She uses the Force to influence him. And it's like, I don't know. I'm like, that's your friend. I don't know if they're best friends because I'm not like super familiar with the Young Jedi Knights, but Lobaka I think is definitely like really good friends with the Solo children. So that's and I didn't think that was good or good idea or anything like that. So didn't enjoy that. Ta'a Chum and the Hapens. I'm not a big fan of the Hapens as a culture. I don't like the backstabbing with when it comes to the ruling of the Hapens. And I'm not a fan of that. And then you have Ta'a Chum that's basically like, well, my daughter-in-law right now sucks, so let's go look for someone else. And so because in Courtship of Princess Leia, she wanted Princess Leia to marry Isolde, but that didn't happen. And now, years later, she's like, oh, maybe Jaina. So she kind of tries to get Jaina to go that way. And I never thought Jaina would ever do that, because why would she? That's stupid. Jaina's not like power hungry like that. So I just, what else do we have? Not a whole lot happens in this book. It's not a very heavy plot book. It's kind of introspective and focusing on Jaina as a character, kind of in the aftermath of the events of Star by Star and losing Anakin. You get Anakin's funeral in this. So I think you needed a slower book that wasn't boom action all the time. After Star by Star, you kind of needed a little bit of breathing room. And probably focusing on Jaina, I think, made the most amount of sense. It's just, unfortunately, Jaina hasn't had a ton of development in the NJO. She pops up a little here and there, but yeah, so I would have liked more, but that's okay. And as I was saying earlier, it's interesting pairing these two books together, because Star by Star is my favorite of the New Jedi Order, and then Dark Journey is my least favorite. The Star by Star is, it's going, and just continuing to escalate, and just, it's going full speed. Whereas Dark Journey is it's slow. So they're kind of the opposite. They're opposites. And it's interesting that, and I think it's hard to compete with Star by Star just because so much happens in the book. And, Dark Journey was probably never going to be my favorite novel, but it could have been. I could have enjoyed it more. And I think for me personally, it hinges on my enjoyment of Jaina as a character. And right now I don't dislike Jaina, but I'm not a Jaina fan. So that's where I would stand on that. But yeah. New Jedi Order is definitely a very interesting series, and I'm glad that they made it. It's such a breath of fresh air from what was happening prior. And it is long. It is a huge commitment. 19 books is a lot to read for one series. But thus far, I would say it's worth it. Especially if you're a fan of Luke, Han, Leia. They all get fantastic moments to shine. And you get introduced, well, maybe you might be familiar with them from other things, but the Solo children, they're actually characters in this series, because in other books they're kind of more like just there, or the plot revolves around rescuing them or stopping people from kidnapping them or whatever. But they actually become fully fledged characters in this. Now I know that you have Young Jedi Knights, that series that's set before this, but unfortunately I haven't read those yet, so I was unable to get a hold of the books before starting, as unfortunately that they haven't reprinted those books, so they're not like super easy to get. You have to go to a used bookstore or go on eBay or something like that, and they're not cheap. And obviously, not every used bookstore is gonna carry them, so you kind of have to get lucky. But yeah, New Jedi Order has been fun. Kind of reinvigorated my interest in reading Star Wars, because I have to admit, earlier in the year when I was suffering through Children of the Jedi and Planet of Twilight and some of those other books, I was like, man, I'm getting kind of tired of reading Star Wars right now. But now, part of the reason is, yes, I've been reading a lot of Star Wars books for 4 years now. The vast majority of what I've read over that time has been Star Wars related. And after that, but New Jedi Order was a little bit of a rekindling, you could say, which was much needed. So and I look forward to eventually getting to Legacy of the Jedi and it's Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi, those two series, and that I mean, it's bittersweet because next year I will finish reading the Star Wars novels. I will get them all read. So I mean, I'm both happy that that's happening because I'm ready to read. There's other books that I want to read that Star Wars is kind of preventing me from reading, because I want to get through Star Wars and then I can read other series. But luckily I'm starting into the comics next year, so that should hold me over for I don't know how long, at least a couple of years. So that's exciting. I still got plenty of games to play, and New Jedi Order's been fun. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say on the two books, and unfortunately, this is a stream that's not going to have a lot of comments, but that's okay. That's fine. You know, it's probably been too long. The habit's been broken. You know, that's okay. It's no big deal. It's also not the day I usually live stream, or is it? It is. Oh, it is Friday. Yeah. But anyways, not the end of the world. It's okay. But yeah. Well, I guess we can. Oh, you know, since it is news. Yesterday, we got the reveal of a brand new Star Wars game, and normally I wouldn't care that much because you know it's Disney or whatever. But this one is Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic, an RPG that's being made by the same guy that did the first KOTOR game. So that got me interested. And yeah, and also I'm like, which continuity is this game going to be set in? Because sure, it's probably going to be the Disney continuity, in all honesty. But I would say there is a slight chance that it could be set in the expanded universe, because, of course, but this could be the first thing that they have in the Disney canon that goes to the Old Republic. But I don't know. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part of it, hoping that it is. So yeah, but what's unfortunate is we don't really know very much. They showed a trailer yesterday at the Game Awards, and I'll be honest, I wasn't even sure that it was Star Wars until the lightsaber ignited at the very end of the trailer. Yeah, because I mean, yes, it's got spaceship flying and planet, but again, like, that could just be another sci-fi game. But so yeah, RPG, that's exciting. Even if it is Disney canon, I will still probably play this because it's an RPG made by the guy that did KOTOR, so that has my attention. So I probably will give that a chance. They also announced a racing game, Star Wars racing game, and that looks kind of crap. It doesn't look very good. I don't love the look of it, and it's got like sequel crap in it, and I'm not interested in that. I don't know. If it was a pod racing game, even if we had to race through tracks on, like, I don't know, Jakku or some other sequel planets, I'd be like, oh well, at least it's pod racing. It's just like generic, like, sci-fi speeders and bikes and all that racing, and it's what a waste of an idea. But I mean, we do have two other racing games that are pod race related that came out years ago that are set in the expanded universe, so I'll just play those. But but it's, you know, Fate of the Old Republic is it's exciting. So, and you know, I guess we'll keep an eye on that. Who knows? Maybe it will be set in because if it's set, imagine if it's set in the expanded universe continuity. That's new expanded. This is the biggest new content ever for the expanded universe. I mean, yeah, they had the Marvel comic 108 like 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whenever it was exactly. But I would say this is even bigger. This is like major stuff. That's cool. Yeah. What if this is essentially KOTOR 3? Just not called KOTOR 3? What if it's set? Because to me, I don't know why you would want to put it in Disney canon, just in all honesty. There's not the potential. You can't reference any. Well, I guess they could reference a bunch of pre-existing things, but Yeah. But I imagine if it was in the EU continuity, we could reference KOTOR stuff, Tales of the Jedi, other stuff like that. You could even hint at maybe some stuff coming up. I don't know. But it's just like, yeah, to me there's more interesting. It's way more interesting if it's set in the EU, because we can have references to Revan. Maybe Revan will be in the game depending on when it's set. I have no idea. It's hard to say. But yeah. Well, I think I've rambled long enough. So yeah, this stream was a short one, but that's okay. Talking a little bit about NJO and stuff like that, so that's okay. But yeah. Well, I think I'm going to end it there, just to cause the, just so we're not continuing to ramble. So yeah, so thank you to everyone that watched. If you were watching, that's fine. Yeah, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. And we'll see you in the next live stream in the new year.